What's up, Internet? I'm Iron Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So, today, what I want to do is go over the Universe 6 build I've been messing with. This is not your typical Universe 6 build where you chomp a Vados and then combo the living daylights out of your opponent with a bunch of double strikers and critical. That deck is probably the better version, more aggressive version, whatever you want to call it. This version plays a little more mid-rangey or towards the late game. Let's hop right into it. We're playing the combo leader. It does turn off quite a bit of our options in the sideboard. However, this deck is not exactly what I would call competitive, even in its most pure form. In the meta, quote unquote, meta version of it, as it kind of just loses to Hatchiak. However, this version does not. So, playing Kaba, we don't care about the restriction. We just want all the draw power, and we tap a lot of things, so we will activate this a lot on the backside, and we can awaken really fast, can't get stalled out. It's a good time. Firstly, we're playing 2 Kaba Bonds of Universe 6. This card's just good. It lets you recycle your 1-drops. You can make some big plays with it. It's a good card. Lets you get dead 10Ks out of your hand late, so pretty solid. 4 Kale Timid Sister, which is typically not the amount that you see people run, but we, in testing, have found that getting our big cards back is very important. So we're playing 4 of her. She's also a very easy union target. And as you can tell, we're playing some unions. 3 beans because we're playing a blue deck, so you play some amount of beans. I've found myself cutting bean from a lot of my decks as it feels like a crutch a lot of times. I'm a set 1 player. I've been playing bean since the game came out, and sometimes I find myself in situations where bean traps me into building a bad deck, or because you have bean backup. But I've been trying to cut bean as much as possible from blue decks. Some of my blue decks don't even play it now. 4 Khalifa, Bold Sister. Look at the top 5, grab a Universe 6. It's pretty fantastic. 2 Kaba, he's here for backup to get off of the Kale, just in case we don't hit a Khalifa target, but we are trying to hit a Khalifa target. He's also not a bad turn 1 play or a energy 1 play if you have an untapped energy to go ahead and start taking your life and draw a card. Just go +1 for free. 2 Planet Vegeta, this is in here because it searches for most of our deck. The cards that we're trying to search for are typically this Kaba, this Kale, and this Kefla. So that searches all of these, and it combos really well with Planet Solida. So we play 2 of those. 2 Nimbus. This used to be Time Magic, but on playing the deck, because this deck typically taps out in the normal version of the deck, but in this version we actually do leave energy up, so 2 Nimbus is totally fine because we're trying to kill on turn like 5 or 6, not on turn 3 or 4. 2 Crusher Ball, because if you're playing yellow, you need to play Crusher Ball in some number. That's just how good Frieza is, unfortunately, and some other cards in the game, but mostly for full power Frieza, especially since we're playing a deck that wants to board a lot of creatures. 4 Sicily Bonds Kale. This is Saiyan Teamwork Kaba, but for blue. And for blue-yellow Universe 6, maybe not quite as powerful, but still very powerful. Very good card. Obviously, 4 Planet Solida. Our extra card count, our uncomboable count, our multicolor count, it's not extremely high. I think we're playing 14 here. Yeah, we're playing 14. So it's, not super high, but it's not super low either. So the chances that we do charge a multicolor turn 1 is not bad. That is one thing that I think that this version of the deck has over the other version, where you kind of wanted to play on turn 1 with the other version of the deck. This one doesn't mind just charging and passing. 4 Kaba Saiyan of Universe 6, he filters. He's the best filter for this deck, probably one of the best filters in the game. 2 energy, he'll become a 10k off the leader's ability. You're essentially drawing two, pitching one, getting rid of something that you don't need. You can get rid of this Planet's Sadala if you have extra, whatever. You have lots of ways to ditch cards in this deck, so you're not worried about playing too many 110Ks or edge cards. 3 Caulifla Spunky Allure. This is here just to be hit off the tail. This card, paying 2 for this card is never what you want to do. So playing this off of the Kale is perfectly acceptable, though, especially since you get the tap something ignoring barrier when it's unioned with, which is fantastic. It's been very good in testing. I want to run this at 4, but there's literally just no space unless you remove one of these, which we never see at 2, so we're playing 3. 4 Batamo, Defender of Universe 6. I was playing the Mineta to activate at 5, but people talked some sense into me literally during testing, like, hey, why are you not just playing Botamo? Because you're always going to be awakened. So having just the ability to always be a 1K against like Fu or whatever is pretty solid. 4 Brilliant Pairing Kefla. This is the meat and potatoes of our deck. We can only have one on board at a time, but the fact that we're playing 4 means that we will always see it, and we're always putting pressure on our opponent. This, in combination with Hit or with Kefla Everlasting Light and our leader ability, and our leader attack, means that we will never lose to Hatchiak. It's almost impossible, but hey. Hit in Cold Blood. This is part of the reason why we just stomp on Hatchiak, because we flip them back over to our front side, and Hatchiak to awaken has to have 3 cards underneath him. So when you... it's really kind of messed up, but when you play this card against Hatchiak, God bless them. You flip them to the backside. They can't flip for another turn until the end of their next turn. But Hatchiak, A, can't attack on the front side, and B, needs to have 3 cards underneath him from his front side ability, or from any other ability, which I think he can only put cards underneath him from his front side ability. So he can't flip for 3 turns, essentially. It's hilarious. It's absolutely insane. This card's also very good against every other leader in the game. Flipping your opponent to your front side is advantageous for multiple reasons. There are some leaders where you take away their draw and attack. You take away some of their power for autos. Surge leaders, it's not great to have surge leaders be able to put more cards underneath them and have multiple of those abilities. But when you're talking about like Surge Q and you need to kill him right now, and he's banking on the fact that he can take away your triple strike, your dual attack, he can take away your barrier, he can take away all that stuff, or he can give himself 10k or whatever, you just drop this hit in Cold Blood, and if they don't have a topo, they just kind of lose. Because they were banking on their leader being able to activate, and you just go hit in Cold Blood. Finally, we have 3 Kefla Everlasting Light. Like I said, we were playing 2, but in testing, we never saw 2, so we're bumping it up to 3 to see if we find it more often. It was always at the bottom of the deck whenever you were playing 2. Always at the bottom of the deck. So we're playing 3 of this. This card's insane. It doesn't do anything particularly powerful on your turn. It's just the fact that it just sticks around. It's a 30k beater that just sticks around, gets around Hatchiak's ability, which is still relatively prevalent. It's just a good card. Just a good card. So this is the deck. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I actually think this deck can relatively compete. I don't think it's tier 1. I think it's around that tier 1.5. It's very janky, but it has a theme to it that fits, and it wins games. So give it a try. If you like it, let me know. Let me know if you'd like to make any suggestions. But I think it's pretty fleshed out. Maybe drop these guys, go up one of these. I don't know. I just like having this card for the safety on like turn energy 1. So hope you guys have an excellent afternoon and enjoyed the video. See you next time.